Welcome to the Township of Springfield, County of Union, State of New Jersey meeting for November 26, 2024. Notice this meeting is being held in accordance with the public laws of 1975, Chapter 231, and adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by notice sent to the Star Ledger, the local source, and posted in the main lobby of the municipal building and on the Township website. Please join us for the Pledge of Allegiance, led by Carl Ostergaard, Jr., Vice Commander, American Legion, Post 228.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please remain standing for a moment of silence for our soldiers overseas and abroad. Thank you. Thank you, Carl.
Thank you, sir.
Roll call.
Mayor Weber,
Here.
Deputy Mayor Laufer,
Present.
Committeeman Capides,
Here.
Committeeman Kaiser, Committeeman Huber is absent.
How many meetings? Rich, how many meetings have you been? Rich has been a month already? Two. Township wants to, we all wish Rich to get a little bit better. He's been feeling under the weather the last few weeks. We spoke with him today. He says he's getting much better and will be ready to be back shortly, but we all miss him and hope he is back into fighting shape shortly. Springfield residents 55 plus, December 2024 calendar is out. You can get that from the Chisholm Center and the Township website. All days are filled for December of 2024, except for the 24th and the 25th. All municipal offices will be closed on November 28th and 29th. Township of Springfield's tree lighting, Town Hall, Tuesday, December 3rd, from 5:30 to 8. The rain snow date is Wednesday, December 4th. Save the date. Santa visits Springfield on Saturday, December 7th. Inclement weather date is scheduled for Saturday, December 14th. More details to follow as we get a little bit closer. Rabies clinic scheduled for January 11th, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at Chisholm Community Center. Please bring exact cash or check payable to Township of Springfield. 2025 renewal licenses will be issued at the event. And right now, we're going to go to bulk pickup scheduled for December 11th and 12th. Please have everything out by Tuesday night. On December 10th, each street will only be picked up once. Now we're going to go to a proclamation to Michael Saraceno for the Eagle Scout Project. There's Michael, okay. Whereas today, November 26th, 2024, Boy Scout Michael Saraceno, a member of Springfield Troop number 73 of Patriots Path Council since 2016, is being recognized by the Boy Scouts of America for successfully completing all requirements for Scouting's highest rank. And whereas we are gathered here on this occasion as friends, family, and neighbors of Michael Saraceno to support him on his attainment of the rank of Eagle Scout and to recognize the faithful and steady path taken within the Scouting organization. And Whereas Michael's Eagle project at the Springfield Free Public Library was divided into 3 sub-areas: Mountain Avenue entrance, the walkway, and general entrance area and main entrance sign. Whereas we commend Michael on his Eagle Scout project of refurbishing the Mountain Avenue entrance to the Springfield Free Public Library by enhancing the walkway and signage. And whereas Michael, along with fellow scouts, mulched, placed weed barrier in front of the library sign, placing perennial flowers in the newly mulched area, with solar-powered lights to illuminate the sign, and also lined the walkway with weed barrier. And whereas the Eagle Scout project will enhance the entrance to the Springfield Free Public Library to welcome all guests, young and old, as they visit our library. Now therefore I, Chris Weber, on behalf of the Mayor and Township of Springfield, Union County, New Jersey, do hereby recognize and congratulate Michael Saraceno on attaining the rank of Eagle Scout for this outstanding accomplishment, and extend to him our deepest appreciation for all of his dedicated work, and wish him all the best in all of his future endeavors. Come on up. Congratulations. Thank you. Where do you want to take us? Go ahead. Guys are 20 feet taller than me. Go ahead. Come on over here, son. Want to say anything?
Yeah.
Okay. We on?
We're on. Do you know how long ago I was last here? Because it was definitely a while ago.
About 7-8 months.
Yeah. So it took a while, but we're done now, and I'm very happy. And I'd like to thank, first of all, you guys. You guys were very fast with getting me through the approval stages so we could work on it. I'd like to thank Ms. Lafazan, the library director. She was very good to me. She was very good at communicating so we could actually execute the project. The Keston family, they really helped out, and all the people in my troop who volunteered. It's a very good program, and if you have a youth, I would recommend at least giving it a look, because it really does give you a lot of life skills.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
So how long did it take you to attain the rank?
So like when I started scouting?
Yeah, from beginning to end.
So like 7 years.
Took 7 years.
Actively going for, I'd say like 1.5 of like.
That's when 1.5 is when you knew you had something you really wanted to get this done with.
Yeah, I mean like, you can definitely do it faster, but I don't think you should really rush it.
So somewhere along the line, within the last 2 years, you say, you know what, I'm close enough to Eagle Scout, I'm gonna crush it and get this done with.
Yeah.
Anything specific stand out in your head over all the years that you were doing this?
What do you mean by that?
Meaning, was there anything that was extremely difficult that you thought maybe you wouldn't get past, or more than challenging than you thought that it was going to be?
We did this 50-mile trek when I was like 14.
You get the mic a little bit, because I want people to hear that outside.
So I had to do a 50-mile trek when I was 14. That was definitely my most difficult experience. Wow. And then we went back the next year, and it was a lot easier. So.
Year stronger, year bigger, yeah. Where was it through?
10-Mile River, Aquahonga.
Wow. How long did that take you?
6 days. So it was 25 on land, 25 on water.
I don't know if I can do that.
I just did it like 2 weeks ago. Don't worry about it.
It's good to hear.
So what is next?
College and like, yeah, college. That.
And anything decided yet?
No. I'm still sending some out, some are out already. So
Okay.
it's a process.
All right. Well, Anybody have anything? Or?
No, I asked him a bunch of questions the
Did.
first time he came up here, so he's good.
I'll add my thank you for what you did for the town and the library. It was tremendous work. A bit of advice, put this front and center on your college applications.
That's the plan.
Like in lights with arrows. And we promised you a fancy piece of paper, and I'm really glad that we could deliver the fancy piece of paper. So thank you.
No, congratulations. Thank you. I don't think I was here
First time?
when the first time. So like the one time you came, that the only meeting I've missed in my entire 10 years, unfortunately, when you asked, but congratulations. I'm glad that I'm here now.
The way I view this is that, you know, certain things, when you're born and raised here? Yeah. I've come across quite a few kids that, you know, have been born, raised here, have made a huge difference in their community. I don't, you know, are you planning on living in college, or you don't know yet? You gonna live in college? You'll be back, you know, don't forget about your hometown, because we can always use talent like you, and there's always, you know, something popping up or anything, you know, in terms of employment and stuff like that, even if you come back for the summer, and you're looking for maybe seasonal work or anything like that, we're always more than happy to get somebody of your caliber on board and put them to work, because we know you'll take good care of whatever you have to do. So, thank you, from the Township of Springfield, thank you.
Thank you, Michael.
And you guys did a great job with these. Thank you for allowing us to have them over here. All right, with that, you might be interested in this one if you want to hang out for a minute, because we're going to talk about the Rawway Valley Rail to Trail now. Okay, so the last time this was presented to us, it was a lot more informal. They had just gotten to the early stages of it. I don't know if anybody had even signed up yet. I think we have a whole different world to talk about now, 4 years later almost, right? Stephen Dunn, the biking fireman, junior, I should say. Man, you're even taller than him.
Don't worry, we don't have to do the picture thing. It's all right.
Please, no pictures.
I'm going to hold this up because that's
Thank
the
you.
problem always. So I want to start off with another plug for the Boy Scouts. My friend Mr. Bill Nearstead here was actually my scoutmaster in Garwood when I was a young lad. Oh, wow. I never made it to the rank of Eagle. I was just a tenderfoot, but it definitely, you know, left an impact on my life. And, you know, Bill is still very involved in his community. I'm involved in my community. And my boys are in Scouts now in Kenilworth. And, you know, please, we're going to need help with the Rawley Valley Rail Trail, so this is definitely good future Eagle projects.
Wait, you just figured this one out just now? You guys were talking?
No, I've known him.
Oh, you've known him, okay.
Yeah. I just, you know, it just kind of made me think. Like it's funny. This is not the first meeting for council that we've been to together, and it's funny how, you know, he's had a big impact on my life without even. I didn't realize it until kind of a while later, you know. Like we went our
realized-
separate ways, and then all of a sudden, hey, he kind of is the one who planted the seed, and he retired, and I pulled him back into Union County Connects. I said, hey, come back and work for free. And yeah, so it's interesting. But the
Nothing better
Scouts,
than that.
Scouts are really a good thing. I'm glad to see, you know, people involved and going. Oh, I got you in here, Ray. Don't worry. I'm going to sing. I got words I'm going to say. So my name is Stephen Dunn. I am a fireman in Elizabeth. I live in Cranford. Just moved to Cranford from Kenilworth with my two boys who are in Scouts. And I'm the president and founder of Union County Connects. We're an organization with a pretty simple mission. We want to connect the whole county by a system of trails to promote healthy lifestyles through safe outdoor recreation and transportation. Just give you a brief history on Union County Connects. We started as a Facebook group in 2020. It was called Rails to Trails Union County, and there was about a 3.5 mile section of unused railroad that goes from Cranford to Elizabeth, and we were eyeing it up, saying, hey, this would be a good route to get places. I joined that Facebook group early on because I ride my bike to work. I don't drive a car to work. It's been 5 years now. So I was thinking, hey, this would be a good place to get off the road. So I joined that Facebook group, and a little while later in 2021, that kind of cause became more urgent for me. I actually started a Rails Trails Committee in Kenilworth,
And I was real excited. We got the first committee meeting going. I took off the first 4 hours of work, and I'm on my way to work, real excited, riding my bike, and I got hit by a car, went over the handlebars, broke my collarbone. Put me out of work for 3 months. And if you're in the emergency services world, you're kind of used to being on the go. You have your coping mechanisms, and for me, it's being active and riding my bike. And to kind of suddenly have to stop and do nothing but sit around in my own thoughts for 3 months, it caught up with me real quick.
Bless.
Bless you. It was a hard time for me in my life, but it was kind of from the depths of a depression, really. Was born Union County Connects. We had this Facebook group which had a lot of energy, and we realized it was more than a Facebook group. So later in 2021, we incorporated into a nonprofit, officially Union County Connects, and what we're trying to do is build consensus all around the county. Union County is interesting. We have 21 municipalities, and everyone's got their own little character, but we all travel all around the county. And for me, we have this map in our mind about if I'm going from point A to point B in Union County, I think most of us have an idea of roads. We have 28, we have 22, we have the Parkway, we have 78, and that's how we're going to drive someplace. And what I really want to try and do is change that map in your mind. So if you want to walk or bike somewhere, you have a trail that you can go right out your front door and get there quickly. So it grew pretty quick, and I just want to point out, I'm going to come back to you, Ellen, we have a really awesome team. We kind of wound up drawing a lot of people in. So just two of them here today. So Bill, I already said my nice words about him, but he's he's on the Garwood Planning Board. He's a former councilman in Garwood. He's on the Green Team, and he's the former planner for the city of Plainfield. And he was actually the main architect of the Green Book Trail. And that's just, we don't have to get into all the details, but that's on this map. So that was my western end of Union County. Let's connect to the Green Book Trail. And so Bill's, like I said, I drew him out of retirement. And Ellen's here. She's a scout leader in Roselle Park. She's on the Green Team. She handles our website design, some of our emailing and stuff, and just kind of a lot of great connections. Anything else? You're awesome. Al's not here. Al Walkoff isn't here. He's a little grumpy tonight, but Al's kind of this great connector for us. He's a former board member of the Union County Parks and Advisory Board, which before it was disbanded, and he's really a visionary. He kind of was talking about the CNJ 30 years ago, before it was even a thought. So that's the brief history. And so I want to get into the Raleigh Valley Rail Trail, because this map here that we have on Union County Connects, that's the grand vision. But the low-hanging fruit is really the Raleigh Valley Rail Trail. So Union County Connects in 2022, we partnered with the National Rails Trails Conservancy. Tom Sexton is based out of Philadelphia, and he controls 10 states in the Northeast for the Rails Trails Conservancy. And he came down and we hosted our first Celebrate Trails Day event in Kenilworth. And what we did was we walked along the line. I actually went out there and cleared it all with the machete and my lawnmower so we could walk. And we brought people along the line. What it did was it brought awareness, because what I tell people is stuff is hidden in plain sight. I lived here my whole life, and I didn't even know a railroad used to run there. And I love this stuff. I was a scout. I was outside, right? So what we did was we kind of brought lightness to the dark areas. Sometimes these tracks are just dumping grounds and overgrown. And by bringing people to it, it drew awareness. So we did that for 3 straight years. And actually, after the first year, the county, and this is what I really want to drive home for you guys, Kenilworth and Roselle Park, in partnership with the county, applied for and received what's called a Transportation Alternative Program funding from the federal government. It was $1.5 million. That funding is still available, but it might not be for long. So that was in 2023 that grant funding was awarded. Just a couple other things Union County Connects has done. We helped Roselle last year. Actually, no, this year, 2024, they applied for the SIRT, which is the blue line there. That goes from Cranford out towards Bayway. They applied for the TAP grant funding, and we helped them with that this past year. Hopefully they get it. And then also in 2022, we hosted the East Coast Greenway Committee meeting, and we proposed a safer route for the current route of the East Coast Greenway takes to the Goethals Bridge, and it was pretty dangerous. So we brought everyone together for a meeting, and we kind of talked about a better way. And Union County and Elizabeth were awarded $1 million last year to do the East Coast Greenway connection from the Goethals Bridge to Cranford. So it's been a fun ride. We kind of just love talking about this stuff and bring to light what can be done. And I'll get to the bridge in a second. So the TAP grant funding, it's good for at least this year. I personally think, and mentioned it to the mayor and the environmental commission. A really great route for Springfield to go to get really millions of dollars is in partnership with Union and Union County. Springfield could really apply for submit a strong grant application to get federal funding to convert the Raleigh Valley Rail Trail in Springfield. And if you don't know already, in Springfield, it connects Meisel Ave to Bryan Ave Park. You have a beautiful trestle bridge just off Meisel Ave, and it would come down over out behind Costco in 22 and Union. And it's really beautiful back there. The whole trail will be 7.3 miles, starting in Roselle Park and ending in Summit. Oh, and I missed even more money. Summit got $1.1 million last year from this funding as well. So there's just a lot of federal infrastructure money available, and if we put together a strong grant application, it's there. It's there for the taking, and we all know there was an election recently, and we might see a change in federal funding. So now is really the time to act. And then one last thing, you may be thinking, well, what about Route 22? It does cross Route 22 at right by Michigan Ave, and if you've ever driven in Union on Route 22, you know that people are playing Frogger, and it's really sad. And there's no way to access that center island as a pedestrian or a cyclist. So one of our members, his name is Jeff Grobe. He's a landscape architect. He's designed parts of the East Coast Greenway. He's also the drummer for a rock band. We talked about this, Brandy, yeah, Looking Glass. He was going to come tonight, but he couldn't make it. So he actually drew up an order of magnitude estimate for what a bridge would be like to cross Route 22. I've spoken to Senator Cryan about it. I've spoken to the county commissioners about it. I've spoken to the NJTPA about it. I've spoken to the New Jersey Bike and Walk Coalition about it, East Coast Greenway about it, Rail Trails about it. So we're spreading the word. I think everyone in decision-making positions at funding levels higher up are aware of these connections that are possible. And then the last thing I'll talk about is you see all the way down in the corner, we have our resolutions that have been approved from towns around the area. So every town along the Raleigh Valley Railroad has passed a resolution in support of the idea of rails to trails and/or Union County Connects, except Springfield, and for no other reason than we just haven't been here and I haven't made the connection, and that's how it happened. So I'm really excited to be here because I think this is a win. This is huge for Springfield. It's huge for Springfield, and you know, I won't get too deep into, I guess, all the benefits. But if I sent you the Rails to Trails website, there's just huge benefits for having trails like this in your neighborhood. It could bring people, it could bring business. It's a sustainable transportation method for people like me, and also just a healthy outdoor outlet and environmental conservation. So I think I hit all my rambling there. And one other thing, this year we were awarded a Heart Grant from Union County. I love the history of this as well. So Richie King is actually a guy, he lives in Union, and he literally wrote 3 volumes of history on the Raleigh Valley Railroad, and he helped us commission a mural. You can see it on Route 28 in Roselle Park. It's an accurate depiction of steam engine number 15, which was the last time steam ran on the Raleigh Valley Railroad, and diesel engine number 16. And you can actually see the real history of it. And the cool thing for me, steam engine 15 is actually still out in Scranton, PA. So a kid can come here and say, hey, look at that steam engine used to run here. And then they can go to Steamtown National Museum in Scranton and see the actual piece of history. And you know, the railroad actually built this whole area. So to preserve this right of way, to maintain the history of it, is just, I get giddy thinking about it, exciting. And I really hope Springfield is on board with this idea, because I think it's going to be a huge benefit to the whole town.
I'll start the questions real quick. Number one, you said every township except for Springfield so far has given you a resolution that's been in favor of this.
Yes. Well, let me just be very clear and careful, because Summit, no, but they were already doing their thing.
They're already involved in it anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Has anybody actually completed a section that is walkable at this point?
Summit has, they put a bridge over Morris Ave, but it's only probably maybe a little over, between a quarter and a half mile of walkable space.
How much?
Between a quarter and a half a mile.
Okay.
It starts at Overlook Hospital, and then you can end at the bridge, but they haven't completed the rest of it yet.
But they are planning on.
Yeah, it's in the planning phases. I don't know the details of if there's a holdup or why there's a holdup, but they're going to come to Orchard Street And that's, there used to be a bridge over Orchard Street to connect to Bryan Ave Park. So that's where the Summit Park Line, who is an individual nonprofit foundation, building it in Summit, and they're going to hand it over to the city of Summit. Our goal for and I'm just talking what I think is the best way. Our goal for the rest of it, for me, that makes most sense from Springfield, Union, Kenilworth, and Roselle Park to be a linear county park. We have MOUs in Roselle Park and Kenilworth for shared services on there. Obviously, I'm not the guy who decides that, but that seems to be the most practical way to do it, especially in Springfield where it connects to 2 county parks already.
Who's the official owner of that line?
So right now it's owned by the NJDOT, and the county has rights. In 2017, they passed a resolution that they can do the rail to trail conversion.
Or the whole line through Union County?
Yeah. And as you know, it's being done already in Kenilworth and Roselle Park. I don't know. It's very frustrating. You probably know better than anyone. The pace of government is frustratingly slow, but it's going to happen. You know, within a couple of years, there will be a path from Route 28 in Roselle Park through Kenilworth, stopping at 22. Hopefully, in a couple more years, we got from Union all the way up to Summit, and then hopefully within 10 years, we'll build a bridge over 22, and we'll all say, "Wow, we did it."
So when we met at the environmental meeting the other day, we talked about, we have I don't know if any other towns have a problem with, these trails going through backyards or through not even actually through property, but adjacent to property. Your idea was pretty interesting because you said, well, why don't we stop it at Mountain Avenue and continue it all the way through, which didn't actually affect, I don't believe, anybody's property line going all the way through Union.
Yeah.
And then Union picking it up. When you last spoke to Union, what was their temperature on it? With it?
It's been a while, and since we met last week, that's kind of what my next step is. We're going to get in front of them, but the resolution we got from them was in 2022, and this basically the resolution says we like this idea of rail trail conversion, but it's just a matter of we haven't kind of made the connection to push it forward because honestly, we're focusing on we try and I guess focus on the low hanging fruit first, and Kenilworth and Roselle Park were those portions. And now we're trying to move it on up.
Yeah, you addressed one of my concerns about potentially how to pay for it. So that's, obviously there's grants available, and the mayor talked about the relationship to this trail within residential areas. When this is built, what is the vision of what the trail is going to look like? Because I'm thinking about biking and people walking. Like, do you have a vision of what the trail is made out of? Have you thought that far about the plan?
Yeah. So I personally have thought about it, but I'm very careful not to. It's not my decision at the end of the day. If it were up to me, it would be a stone dust gravel path because it's non-permeable surface,
Okay.
ADA compliant. I don't think it's going to happen. I think the county engineers are probably going to want to do asphalt. But yeah, it's a multi-use trail, so it should be ADA compliant. It should be for biking, walking, running, that kind of thing, and recreation. And like I said, for me, it's a transportation method. I use my bike to get everywhere, and I think that's. I didn't even touch on this, but part of this is also pedestrian and cyclist safety. One of the best ways, you talk about a hierarchy of controls, like how can we really control the built environment? Get pedestrians and cyclists off the road as much as possible, because when you're sharing road space with vehicles, there's going to be problems. So this really addresses in the best way for everyone, give other options. So that's the huge thing.
And you kind of alluded to my final point about just, I guess, pedestrian and cyclist safety. Somebody gets hurt jogging or on a cycle, somebody takes a fall. Like, my concern would be, like, if we needed to get to somebody during that trail, and again, I don't know what it looks like, and maybe we could talk to other towns, but, God forbid somebody gets injured, how do they get help, and how do our first responders respond if there is a need?
Well, I know I'll speak for myself in that I know that the capabilities of Springfield and Union County can certainly handle it, and it's a discussion that needs to be had between the police and the fire, but certainly not insurmountable. In Kenilworth, they built about a 2-mile section of the East Coast Greenway in 2014. And actually they had, during construction, there was unfortunately a fatality. But they got back there and because an excavator tipped over. But they got back there and they're having incidents back there, you can get back there. And we talked about a couple access points.
Yeah, we had talked about, what was too long of a route before there was an entrance or an exit. And that was one of the things where we said, if there was an availability and it was just open space, it would be better to have, almost similar to any other beach or anything else where you have as many access points as you could to be able to join the trail wherever you can. It did become my thought was same as yours, it's becoming concerning if you're looking at over a quarter mile or more, half mile of maybe no entranceway. But if it's big enough to put a train up there, like you said.
The path could definitely be at least 10 feet wide, even 8 feet wide, you can probably fit. 10 feet's good for an ambulance. And the good thing too is you have the fire department. The fire headquarters is right next to it. So again, you guys got a great fire department here. Firefighters, police, we figure stuff out. So they'll come up with a plan, obviously, and
Hiking is certainly a new trend. I don't think anybody else has ever dealt with this before, but
Yeah.
And I guess I have a bad angle because you're obviously presenting, and I'm looking at you, but I'm also looking at the department heads over here with public safety, and then I also look at the DPW in terms of just the general upkeep of the trail itself, who does that, and I know you probably couldn't answer that, and that's something that we would have to discuss maybe amongst ourselves or with other townships that are thinking about doing this. Again, I like the idea, and I think it's a great idea and a great endeavor, but obviously there's
logistical concerns.
logistical concerns that I have, but not to say that we couldn't.
And just, I guess, 2 things. I can first of all send you the MOUs that are in place for Kenilworth and Rosa Park. I can connect you to Jay Rabina, who was a big spearhead of this, and he's a council person in Rosa Park. And also, till Tom Sexton brings this up, and again, this funding might not be available for long, but for the first time in history, there's actually funding available for maintenance costs. So yeah, I don't know if, it's there now, it might not be in a few years. But yeah, I don't think it's, you're talking about cutting grass, and I think the MOU as it reads now, the surface is a responsibility of the county. So repairs are them, and I think the DPWs are supposed to cut grass and stuff, but.
Robbie, I got a question for you. Last time we were up there, Robbie, you took me up there to Tooker Avenue, and when we were up there last time, it was cleared out. Was that cleared out from JCP&L doing regular maintenance, or it wasn't us, right?
No, JCP&L went through there to provide service line clearance.
And they do that how often for us?
Whenever it's needed. Whenever these legs come within the proximity of the primary wires. They also went behind Troy, and I know they went from behind Troy to Baltushaw, and from Baltushaw, they went down to almost now.
So they would actually still need access and control of that whole thing anyway, just because of their power lines and structures. So that actually probably works well in that favor too, because,
Yeah, you can get some of the costs covered for tree maintenance. Basically, they could do the trees, you could do the grass, the county does the pavement. And, I'll just point out again, I know you see costs, but this is an economic builder as well. People will come to walk. I'll ride my bike to Springfield just because I can and buy pizza on Mountain Ave,
And I appreciate your passion for this subject. I appreciate your breadth of knowledge and the information you bring to us. And please don't take my questions as a negative thing. Obviously, we just have concerns, and there's some bullet points, obviously, we want to discuss to make this, attempt to make this a viable option for our community. And again, I appreciate your being here and your passion.
I appreciate it. No, I'll just give my last bit of urgency. There is the NJTPA is offering a seminar on the grant application on the 12th, December 12th, I believe it is. I sent it to you, but I'll send it again. And then they are supposed to announce the funding sometime soon. It's in the thing I sent you to, but I think the application is due, the final application might be March or May or something like that. So we have time, but if it's something you want to do, you start now, we get it up, and it just might not be there next year, So Actually, it might be the next year. I think it's funded maybe through 26, but it's a generational opportunity to have this kind of funding. So
So
not miss it.
in terms of Union County right now, for this whole project, who's your strongest towns with most likelihood of getting something completed sooner than later?
Roselle Park.
Yeah,
So got Jay over there.
Kenilworth and Roselle Park, I don't know who's going to get it first, but in terms of ease of doing an actual thing, there's a portion of Kenilworth between the Boulevard and Blackbrook Park. That's fairly simple. I made it a walkable trail myself with a lawnmower and a machete.
Really? Okay.
So, and then also in Roselle Park from 28 to about Colfax is probably pretty easy to do as well. Once you get in between Colfax and the Boulevard of Michigan, there's some encroachments, there's trees and stuff, so that might take a little longer. That being said, when they're planning it, they might get everything ready to go and, take up the tracks, cut the trees, and put it all down. So, well, yeah, I was hopeful we would have seen some construction this year, but I guess that was overly optimistic because it's a federal grant. It takes longer. So,
Hey, Robbie, with our trail, the only section we have that's not actually on land is the one that goes from Mizell, where that train trestle is. Is that accurate? Correct. That's the only one that there's actually no ground below. How long is that thing? Yeah, I got stung by like 45 bees before I even made it 2 feet there, so I have no idea how long it is. And I just ran down Mizell. It is. Fixable? Is it repairable? Okay. Okay.
funny piece of history, the Rahway Valley Railroad is accidentally named the Rahway Valley Railroad because of that bridge and that river that it crosses there. Because we're not really, it's that was it. That's why it's called the Rahway Valley, because it crossed there.
Interesting, did not know that.
Mr. Mayor, can I ask a question?
Yeah, please.
How long is Summit's trail when they're done?
I want to say 1.7 miles.
1.7
Yeah,
miles.
the whole thing is 7.3.
Oh, so the whole thing is
Oh,
7.3
yeah,
in Summit?
from Roselle Park to Summit. Roselle
Just
Park
Summit's
is
1.7?
Yeah, I want to say it's about 1.7.
And how much have they finished?
Maybe a half mile at most, yeah.
And that was did they spend $1.5 million on that?
No,
half a
no.
mile?
So that $1.5 million was awarded the same time that the Roselle Park in Kenilworth was. So I don't know exactly, but I'm sure it hasn't been deployed yet because, well, it's probably been deployed in the form of like studies or planning, but not in the form of construction, would be my guess.
They did do the bridge that goes over Marcia.
They did the bridge, and that was private. They did a lot of private fundraising, and I think they got $200,000 when Malinowski was there. He earmarked $200,000 towards that, and the bridge is actually named after someone who I think was a big donor towards it too.
Maybe I'll talk to them and see what they're projecting their 1.7 is going to cost them.
Yeah, well, how long is our section? Did we figure that out?
Yeah, I would guess. So you're going from Bryant down to probably a mile and a half. Probably a mile and a half, I would say, maybe 2.
To Mizell, because we take over Union. How far past Mizell are we? Meaning, if
yeah,
Mizell's
somewhere in
running
those
across,
woods.
then you have the Trestle Bridge, which I assume is still Springfield? I don't know. Splits at that point, right?
Yeah, somewhere in those woods before. I know once you get to Liberty on the other side, that's by Bed Bath & Beyond. That's Union. Somewhere in there would be the Springfield portion.
You two have, you and or my business administrator, John Pasiclo, you guys have to connect with this because he's the one that would be handling our
You're in
end.
charge.
Yeah.
Yeah. I got plenty of work to do. Anything else, Bill? Yes, I did. I forwarded the draft resolutions already. Do you have those?
Yes.
Yes, yeah. We forwarded draft resolutions.
I'll forward them over to everybody else.
Sure.
So you guys can take a look at it.
I think I'm pretty supportive of.
It's pretty easy, right?
Yep.
So
Yeah,
there-
you finish your comments and then I'll make.
So I guess this is the last thing. There would be 2, I guess, resolutions that would be asked for, maybe needed, maybe not needed. But the regular resolutions are kind of just in support of the idea. But then when you go for the grant application, you have to pass a resolution in support of the grant application, whether it's on your own or whether it's with the county in partnership with Union as well. That's just my opinion, that will make it the strongest application, because it's a competitive grant, people apply for it. So if you show that you have buy-in from 2 different municipalities plus the county, I know you have buy-in from the county, I'll get buy-in from Union too. So I think we got a strong case for it.
I was just going to say thank you so much for coming out. This was a very informative presentation. I think everybody's universally supportive of the concept.
Yeah, no, first off, I think it's a great endeavor, and it's going to certainly take a long time, and a lot more money that is needed, but I think as long as everybody is behind it, I think it's possible, and I think it's a great addition to the community, so we should try to do everything we can on our end. I would worry about that turnaround. It's probably possible, but that is a tight turnaround for March, if it is March, May, for a grant. But if we're all in agreement, I think it's a laudable goal. And speaking to everybody who's volunteering, it's a huge thank you to you who are volunteering a lot of time and had a vision. So appreciate that, and putting together a use of former infrastructure that is no longer just rotting away. And trust me, I try to walk to Bryant Park myself from where I am, and it's kind of tough and difficult. So if there's a trail that connects it all, it'll be enjoyable on my end.
Yeah, very cool.
So thank you.
Thank you, I appreciate
Thank
time.
you very much.
I'm with Committeeman Kaiser. I have no problem if you're asking right now, because I know the Environmental Commission wants to know. 'Cause I was going to give you guys a chance to speak if you'd like. But, go ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you to the Saraceno family for.
Thank you.
You guys are sports.
I just want to say, we've been wanting to do this for a long time, and when we found them, we were like, yes, a way to do it. Not only is it good for our town, it's good for the county. There's nothing to do around here. People are always looking for things to do. This is a healthy, great motivator for not only young people, but older people as well. It's healthy, it's green, it gets people off the roads and on their bikes. There's no downside to this at all. I know you were concerned about the houses on Tooker. If anything, it protects those houses from this railway ever becoming a railway again. So in essence, these people that were worried, because every 10 years or so it comes back up, they're going to reenact the railroad and it's going to become live again. This takes that fear away. It'll be used for biking, for walking. It's good for commerce for our town as well. It'll bring people in from other towns to come and shop here, to stop and buy a drink or some lunch. There is no downside at all. The Environmental Commission is very much in support of this, and we hope you guys are too.
All right, thank you. Anybody else? All right, thank you.
Super informative.
Yeah, it was super informative.
informative.
We will just give a talk about what our next steps are at this point. I like what you have to say. Alex likes what Jeff say. I know you two, both guys do also. Give us a small amount of time to process and talk to John and everything else and see what the next moves are. Right. Yeah, this is much different. The last time we talked about this was just in concept. There was nothing happening. There wasn't even diagrams, really. It was just, you're way more advanced than you were. The bridge on 22, if you're able to pull that one off, boy, is that fantastic, if that's able to happen. No, seriously, yeah, that would be amazing. Just on the aspect that you can cross 22 safely, not running around the lanes. So, all right, thank you so much. With that, I'll just have a 5-minute adjournment. I don't think you guys want to listen to the rest of the meeting. All right, adjourn for 5 minutes. And we're back. We are now going to go back to the regular scheduled agenda and continue on public comment on agenda items only.
Mr. Mayor?
Yes. Aye, sorry. The next committee meeting is scheduled for Wednesday, December 18th at 7 PM. So Wednesday, December 18th, 7 PM. That's the next TC meeting.
We have 2 in December, right?
No, only one. Now we can go on to public comment on agenda items only. Public comment on agenda items only. Seeing none, we will go to the reports with our administrator's report, Mr. John Bisico.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Quickly touch on a few items. I know we touched on this last time we met, that leaf collection has been an issue for us this year. Being that the leaves were so dry, I know it doesn't seem to make sense, but it made it more difficult to actually pick them up. When you think about it, you can't compress them. You're picking them up, but they blow back up again when you take the pressure off them. Luckily, we had some rain last week. That really facilitated our schedule. It helped us catch up. Robbie had guys out actually on the weekend. We were doing pickups. We should be back on schedule now where we thought we would be. We've completed the first pickup of the entire town now. The second pickup is done in Zone 1. We're currently making second pickups in 2, 4, and 7. If you look on the website, you can see what those zones are. And second collection for residents on county roads are scheduled between the 9th and the 12th of December.
So you've done a full sweep of the town once already?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, really helped us. Let's touch on some paving. Most of our paving projects are done for the year. We've got a couple of things left. We got Woodcrest Circle that's scheduled to be milled tentatively on the 3rd and paved somewhere between the 6th and the 9th. Notification letters were sent out. We also had, Robbie, what was the other road that we were gonna pave? There was Woodcrest and? Just Woodcrest? Okay. PSC&G is working on Mizell heading towards Morris. That's expected to last 3 more weeks. Before that, before moving back to Mountain to finish the short length that is between Hannah and Morris. So that's PSC&G doing that work. Another crew is currently working on Lions Place and Salter. They'll move to Keeler and Rose afterwards. The paving of all of these streets will be scheduled for the spring of '25 once they're done with their work.
That's every street that they tore up, including Mizell and all that, they have to be done by spring of '25?
Bring it, I know, will they be done or is that the start for them?
Repaved, right.
Yeah.
Those streets should be paved in 2025, and based on whether it was under a moratorium, we would exchange some footage, but not with the county roads, but only with
Right, ours.
roads. I believe Mizell, with their work, that's under moratorium. Mountain, I don't believe is, where they work from Morris out to Tucker, I don't believe is, so that would be current December. So anything that they did would have to be done with the county as far as footage.
Okay, so if anybody, I know you guys didn't hear that at home, all the streets that are scheduled to, that have been being worked on are going to be paved starting spring of 2025.
Correct.
Okay.
Garbage pickup collection is moved to Saturday this week because of the holiday. Thursdays goes to Saturday. No change on Friday's collection. Let's just touch on a couple of updates on where we are on our projects in town. The Gomes project, they're just about buttoned up. I was there the other day. They actually had Ferguson delivering more plumbing fixtures. So they're inside working on the apartments. They're making good progress there. I went over to Patriot Way, which I sent everybody some pictures. They've already got the foundation, and they're making amazing progress there. It won't be long, and you'll really start to see some building going up there. I had a meeting the other day at Sophia's. There's going to be some upgrades in the future done at Sophia's that we're looking forward to.
We'll bring that to you guys shortly. I think that's gonna be, again, I think that's a big plus for us in town. Again, we're gonna get another building at some point. We're gonna get another building that's gonna have improvements on it. And again, I think this is gonna trigger, we're hoping for a domino effect, that as Sophia's gets done, there's a couple other buildings that you've seen have been painted, new windows in. It makes the other landlords are gonna look at their building and say, it's time I start doing something. So I think the center, we're finally moving, and it's taken a long time. It's been frustrating, I know, but we are making progress. We just have to be patient and stay the course. Other than that, I don't think there's too much else to touch on at the moment. It's a short week, so if anybody has any questions or anything, we'd be happy to answer.
Nothing.
Great, thank you.
Okay, move on to department head monthly reports is emailed, minutes none, new business ordinances, second reading none, first reading none. We're going to go straight into resolutions for approval by consent agenda. If anybody wants anything pulled, please let me know, and I will pull it. Resolutions 2024-260, 2024-261, 2024-262, 2024-263, 2024-264, pull 264, 2024-265, 2024-266, 2024-267, 2024-268, 2024-269. Motion?
Mr. Mayor, I would like to move resolutions 260, 2024-260 through 269 with the exception of resolution 2024-264.
Second?
I don't want to second it because it changed up my, the way you did it this time, and I don't know if I liked it. I don't know if I liked it, but second.
It felt right to me.
Never heard of this exception. The exception of,
Yeah, I don't know if I like that. That threw me off.
Well, you know, everybody has their own process.
this is messing things up here. All right, roll call, please.
Deputy Mayor Laufer,
Yes.
Committeeman Kaiser,
Yes.
Committeeman Capides,
Yes.
Mayor Weber.
Yes.
Resolution 2024-264. This resolution awards a contract to Ben Schaefer Recreation Incorporated of Lake Apacon, New Jersey for Elvin Park playground equipment and installation.
Mr. Mayor, I'd like to make a motion to approve Resolution 2024-264 as read by Madam Clerk.
Second.
So my question to John is, Alvin Park will be ready by springtime, do we know, or
I would check on that for you, but I would say yes, it will be.
that's, okay.
That's why we did it now.
Um,
I will double check that and get something for you first thing in the morning.
I just have a request for that area. That's been a rough area for a lot of the residents there. Alvin, Warner, Marion, Perry, all that. Just want to make them the nicest park possible, you know? If there's anything that we can add to it, or if there's anything that, you know, we can do for them to, I know everything got pulled out, and that park has been flooded quite a few times. So, I don't know if there's a basketball court going back in there. I know there was a basketball hoop in there.
Why don't we look into that and I'll get back to you.
Okay,
I'll see what's going there.
all right, thank you. Roll call on that?
Committeeman Capides,
Yes.
Committeeman Kaiser,
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Laufer,
Yes.
Mayor Weber.
Yes.
Mr. Mayor, I would like to make a motion to approve the request from Shabbat of Springfield to have their 12th annual menorah lighting on Thursday, December 26th at 4:30 PM on Veterans Park with use of the bucket lift and presence of auxiliary police, with menorah staying up until the end of Hanukkah. Hold harmless and certificate of insurance provided on approval of request.
Second.
Committeeman Capides?
Yes.
Committeeman Kaiser?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Laufer?
Yes.
Mayor Weber?
Yes. Move on to finance.
I'll make a motion to adopt payroll and invoices for the period of November 14th, 2024 through November 26th, 2024 in the amount of $9,058,658.51.
Second.
Committeeman Kaiser?
Yes.
Deputy Mayor Laufer?
Yes.
Committeeman Capides?
Yes.
Mayor Weber?
Yes.
And everybody should have received the October budget report, the October pool budget report, the October revenue report, and the October pool revenue report, and should be filed away accordingly.
Thank you. We have no correspondence. Public comment on any governmental issue. Public comment on any governmental issue. I do have 2 emails received.
Is it what I want for your Santa Claus?
Not that elaborate. Or exciting. The questions are submitted from Michael Bartosh, 77 Tudor Court in Springfield. The orange flags that were put up at certain crosswalks are missing and need to be replaced.
They were already done, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, so all of the flags have been replaced. Just to make sure, Evergreen Mountain Avenue, crosswalk by Chaffee's, and the crosswalks by Chisholm Center, Shumpike, and Milltown Roads.
Already finished.
All flags have been replaced.
Do they blow away, or do children take them?
They grow legs and they walk away.
I
We're gonna chain them down.
wonder, wonder what councilman brought that up.
I'm gonna have a request again. My request is some kind of lighted crosswalk signs for Wabino and Mizell Avenue. It is impossible to cross there, flags or no flags. And also, Evergreen Mountain Avenue. There has to be some kind of lighted crosswalk thing going on there, or there's gotta be a better solution. I will tell you that we've done the flags for a few years.
Yeah, there's.
Is that Michael or is that you?
That's me.
No.
Okay.
No,
Robbie, can we look into that? Like, do they make them that we can buy them? Maybe they're solar powered, or do we need to have the electric company come out and wire them?
Please. Those 2 crosswalks you cannot navigate them. I agree with everybody. We all agree.
Yeah,
We'll have you an answer quickly.
the flags are not getting it done.
Yeah.
I will tell you that, speaking for the 5 of us, we will be happy if you light that entire place up like a UFO. We're okay with that. If any houses over there complain, we'll handle that. But we are very okay with whatever you come up with that will light that place up, so people actually pay attention, stop at those 2 crosswalks.
It's just too dark there, to be completely honest. It's just.
Okay,
Have you an answer shortly.
thank you. Okay, next question. Same from Mr. Bartosh, 77 Tudor Court. Can the speed limit sign, which hasn't been working for I don't know how long on Trivet Ave, be moved to Hillside Avenue by the Freeman Handicap Apartments on Hillside Avenue? The speed limit is 25 miles an hour, and drivers taking that route off of South Springfield Avenue, hitting the downgrade, are doing well over 25 miles an hour. Anything on that one?
Chief, I know you researched that.
Okay, so obviously we're aware of the situation here, Mr. Bartosh, and others have brought it to our attention before, and they don't need to, we know it's a problem area. So, got a little bit of data from Lieutenant Westover, and I'll read that. So since September of this year, we've completed 406 traffic and/or radar details and issued 685 tickets for various violations. The officers regularly rotate enforcement locations to keep the drivers from anticipating them being there. So they won't do Hillside Avenue the same time every day. We'll do random spots in different times, so it's not, okay, I'm going to work in the morning, I know the cop's gonna be there, let me slow down. So we just try to keep it, everything random. As far as the sign itself goes, I know the one he's referring to outside, there's a battery pack issue with that one. We're looking into more updated ones that are solar powered and regenerate the energy themselves. It's a bit of an expense, but we're looking to hopefully get that, coming up this year. But the guys, they're out there doing radar details on Hillside Avenue. Whenever I get a complaint, I make sure I pass it down the chain of command, it gets out to patrol, and they are targeted. Those areas are targeted. Pitt Road was targeted fairly recently when there were some complaints about that. So aware of it. I don't know if he doesn't see us. I mean, the guys aren't sitting obviously in the open because, sometimes we will just to slow the cars down, but if we're looking to do radar enforcement, usually the guys are tucked away somewhere, and he's not going to see them. So they could very well be there, and he really doesn't know if they're there or not, but we are aware of the issue. It is a main cut-through to get off of 22 and go to 22. So we will continue targeting it as we have, and we'll get the device out there, once we have something that's a little more viable than the one we have right now.
So my request to you and the police department are same as it was a few months ago. I am a big fan of signs and moving radar signs that actually post your speed up. And I think they make drivers more conscious of what's going on. I asked several months ago for some estimates for the signage of what it would cost the township to have a few of them. I don't think we need a lot of them, but I think we need to have at least 4 of them on certain streets and what comes to my mind right now is Mountain, Mizell, Hillside, and Shunpike. And I think they become, again, I think they put drivers on notice. I know that when I'm driving and I'm in a 35-mile-an-hour zone and I see that thing light up at 41 or so, it prompts me to slow down. I'm hoping it would have the same effect on others. But please, if you can have a look at them. I've noticed that Cranford and other towns now seem to have ones with light bars across the top, that when they reach 10 miles over.
I'll be honest,
limit,
that's one time
scares the hell
scared
out
the
of
bleep out of you, and it does make you notice. I mean, I don't know if it changes patterns overall, but it does for that minute in time slow you down on that road. And
When I saw the lights go on, I slammed on the brakes. So I would like, we've talked about it here with the 5 of us. We're all in agreement that we would like to see more of those signs around. If you could please get us
Yeah, no, I'll get to you. I know the email has some estimates in there. Quotes received anywhere from $3,400 to $5,000, depending on the technology that's involved with it.
Okay.
But yeah, if that's something, we'll work on getting them. I know we have one or two. Again, that technology, it's mostly battery powered, which is what creates the issue with them. And I do recall when we did discuss this months back, I know we kind of also somewhat joked about it, that a lot of times those things with the younger drivers becomes a competition to see who can get it up the highest also. So they probably more of a positive effect than a negative effect, but that I have seen those issues as well, especially at the overnight hours when there's really nobody around. It's a competition out there. But it's, again, more positive than negative, so I'll push to get the funds somewhere to do what we got to do.
Yeah.
and maybe it's even, I don't know if they can turn off at certain hours of the night, but,
Or even if they stayed off, in a certain speed limit.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, when I saw the red and blues activate on that signpost,
there's no way, yeah, I have seen that, and that personally, it has had me slow down, and it makes you jump a little bit, and you say, ooh, maybe I was going a little too fast. So,
Yep.
And it's really, hey, it's the dangerous times I would imagine are especially like at dusk, when everyone's trying to commute home. It's dark out, so I don't know, maybe if it change your pattern just a little bit, it helps.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. I have one more question. Same, Michael Bartosh, 77 Tudor Court. Sent an email to Senator George Helmy asking if he has met with the mayors and the Army Corps of Engineers referring the flooding in the Rollway River Basin, or have the mayors met to discuss with them referring to the flooding? I have not met with anybody.
No, the George Hemley is a placeholder for several months, and while representing our interests in DC for a few voting sessions. But that does not mean that we have not been well represented under Senator Cory Booker, who has taken the lead for the past few years. So, and I'm fairly certain that our Senator-elect and Andy Kim will certainly take up the mantle and be a much better representation than Senator Menendez has, and equally be as strong in his advocacy for this issue.
Yeah, I agree with you. So, yeah, we don't have any new information with the Army Corps of Engineers referring to any of the things that we've been talking about. So thank you for your questions. I think we've handled all of them except for this last one, which the answer is no. And with that, I will move on and close public comment. And go on to executive session.
Big moment, Maureen.
We've been waiting for this all night. Linda's
Big
watching
moment.
you right now.
I'd like to make I'm just messing.
Resolution number 112624, whereas Article 6 of the Open Public Meeting Act provides that a public body may hold a closed session, and whereas the Township Committee will during this meeting enter into discussion of the following matters: attorney-client privilege and contract negotiation, redevelopment, attorney-client privilege and potential contract negotiation, dispatch, attorney-client privilege, contract negotiation, and potential property acquisition.
I make the motion to go into executive session.
Second.
All in favor? Aye.
Linda, do you approve of the way this was handled? Yes, I'm on sabbatical. Okay, just making sure that Maureen,
Flawless. No action, right?
no action will be taken.